Hi, this is Allison. In relation to this project, I was in charge of the world building. So I was basically in charge of just creating a concept of the ship and the hangar and creating it from scratch. Uh, my workflow was basically just to start with the basic shapes and then get the size down, add the detail, find the material to go with the particular assets, and then basically group them together and then duplicate them to just save me a whole bunch of time. One of the challenges I had earlier with working with Unreal Engine was getting down the proportions and the size of things in relation to the first or the third person character. I had some real challenges where I would just go ahead and start creating things and then drop some of our character assets in there and just have the size be completely off. It would generally be too small. In this case, going bigger was actually better because I wanted to show the massive size of this ship, which is one of the cool things I wanted to touch on. Also, the size and the glow of the rotating core in the middle. That I knew was going to be one of the focal points of this project, and I wanted it to be very impressive. I also added some of the rotating glow about it in the middle to kind of give it that little, hey, what is that factor, and make people want to explore it within the game. Another cool aspect is the Fresnel shield that I had covering the main part of the hangar and the one leading into the core. That was very interesting to figure out, and it gave it that extra edge of, well, you can see some of those zombies behind the shield, but it's not until you actually go through that shield where they're going to start attacking you. Um, some of the other challenges were because of the size of things, the computer generally had a tendency to crash sometimes, and it was very slow within processing, which kind of set us back just a little bit. I worked from home to start and then brought the computer into the lab, transferred the files so the other teammates can access it. Some of the cutbacks were, I wanted to make a whole lot more. There was a bridge command center that didn't quite make the cut. There was going to be a med bay full of zombies as well. But instead of doing that, I just had the hallway, the hangar, and the core. And I focused on getting down those smaller details because one of the main aspects of the game was going to be shrinking. So the smaller details were going to matter than making different parts of the level on a grander scale.
This is Claudia. My role in this project was mainly making the zombie enemy character and all of its interactions. This included particles such as the blood on attack and the poisonous gas that's attached to each zombie, the post-processing effect when you get close to each zombie, and the AI aspect for the zombies that follow the player to attack. I had a lot of fun working with the zombies. I started by importing the zombie character and various animations from Mixamo into Unreal and reattaching the animations to each character. Now that I have a better idea how to do this, I understand basic animation to character linkage is pretty simple, but this was very challenging when I first attempted this. I also liked setting up the AI for the zombie characters. This was actually a lot easier than I had anticipated. The AI is a simple code in the AI character blueprint. At first, I was unsure if I would be able to have imported animated characters become AI characters too, but with a lot of research and collaboration with other students, I was able to combine the AI with the characters and their animations. One difficulty I had, which our group did not have time to investigate, was the looping of the animations as the zombies run. It's a little hard to tell here because the zombies are covered in gas, but their animations re-loop as they run. I found several resources pointing me towards specific tasks in Maya that could help you cut out the forward hip motion so that you could solve this problem. However, this problem remained despite my efforts. So in future projects, I would really like to solve this issue since I really enjoyed working with the animation aspect in Unreal. Perfecting the character animations was unfortunately a cutback considering the timing of completion for our project. Another aspect I had a lot of fun with were the blood particles. In making this blood splatter effect, I got a lot more experience working with materials and making events like a blood splatter happen with a command. I also got a little more comfortable working in Cascade to edit the blood particles so that they could be more accurate and a little bit more similar to blood. One challenge we had working with particles was again related to possible computer issues. I had to redo the blood effect several times as the computer would crash while I was saving. However, this helped me learn the blood effect pretty well since I'd done it many times. I also like the post-processing effect, but I don't think this is the most visually pleasing effect we could have picked. This is the green and pink effect that happens when the player gets too close to zombies to indicate danger. I believe our team's strategy was build now and bring together later. So joining all our individual work towards the middle of the project timeline was a little challenging, and I had to start my work over from scratch, but that was not a huge problem since I do enjoy the repetition of this kind of work and the learning that comes from it. Overall, I'm excited by what I've learned in working with the zombie enemies and working with this team. However, I think the animations were so challenging, and that in combination with the computer crashes, along with several other logistical challenges, lost us some time. So I think we could all agree that we wish we had not had to cut back our point and health system. I'd also wanted to time different animations to happen based on different events, such as zombie injuries and deaths. So in future projects, I would really like to explore all the issues we had with this first project and see how we can go farther with another project.
Hey, this is Pradeep. The entire idea was to make a sci-fi zombie thriller game. The plot of the game happens in 2050, where aliens have struck Earth with a biowar and the emission has made humans turn into zombies. The primary objective of the player is to defuse a bomb to save the world from the next emission, at the same time find vaccine for the earlier strike. My main role in this project was to make things functional using blueprints. We managed to pull off the shrinking power, time or health pickups, time or health reduction on collision, blood splash on face in the UI, user interface for time, and bunch of other cool things. Now working on the user interface for time was simple and straightforward, but the challenge was to get the time widget in the intended format. Since the game is scheduled for an hour, I had to manually write the logic for both minutes and seconds. I did this by having separate variables for both minutes and seconds. We wanted a way to dodge these zombies apart from just shooting them. That's how we came up with this idea of the shrinking power, where the player can shrink in size and then navigate to different locations and not encounter these zombies on the way. That would help them to achieve their goals to get to the next level as well. So we made this power functional by using the set actor scale 3D function, which was really handy and was really useful. Another cool thing that we managed to pull off is the blood splash on the player's face. This basically happens when the player is getting hit by a zombie on collision. So we achieved this using the UI widget with blurred image on it. So basically it gets called on collision with these zombies. But at the same time, we had some cutbacks as well. So Unreal has this bad default behavior with the shooting projectiles where the bullets just bounces off the objects. We tried to fix that, but we couldn't make it. We also wanted to fix the blood projectile on the zombies, but did not find time to fix that as well. We also learned that working with AI can get tricky at times, and you sometimes can't judge what's coming. The main challenge with the process we followed was that we were concentrating on making the game more visually appealing rather than a minimum viable product. But since the project objective was not to publish the game but to come up with the cinematic trailer, we concentrate more on the visual appeal. On the whole, it was a great experience.